There's a reason the mountain doesn't move for most people. It's not because they lack talent. It's not because they're cursed or broken or unlucky. It's because they stop climbing. Success does not respond to your dreams. It does not bow to your intentions. It doesn't care how inspired you were for 10 minutes, or how many books you read, or how many times you whispered affirmations into the mirror. Success bows to one thing and one thing only: perseverance. Not the kind you post about, the kind you bleed for, the kind you show in the dark when it hurts, when it's thankless, when it's quiet. The kind that keeps going not because it's easy, but because it's yours. You see, the world doesn't hand out gold to those who want it. It hands it to those who won't stop digging until their fingers are raw and the earth finally breaks. That's the law. And too many people quit 5 minutes before the breakthrough. One chapter before the revelation. One call, one meeting, one morning away from the moment that would have changed everything. They stop because it's hard. They stop because it's slow. They stop because no one claps. But the ones who rise, they understand something deeper. The universe does not reward the most gifted. It rewards the most stubborn. The ones who refuse to go away. The ones who return again and again with calloused hands and fire in their eyes. The ones who are willing to fail in public, fall in private, and still return to the work with no promise it'll ever pay off. Just the belief that they will. Success loves perseverance, because perseverance proves character. It proves you're not just interested, you're committed. It proves you're not addicted to comfort, you're loyal to your cause. It proves you're not waiting for miracles, you're becoming one. And that's the difference between a dabbler and a dominator. A dabbler waits to feel ready. A dominator moves while it's messy. Because the dominator knows, if I just keep showing up, the mountain will crack. If I just keep striking, the stone will split. It may not be today. It may not be tomorrow. But there will come a moment where the dam breaks, and every ounce of sweat, every failed attempt, every lonely night will roar back tenfold. But only if you don't stop. Because perseverance is not a feeling. It's not something you wait to arrive. It's something you choose over and over and over again. And it begins with mindset. If your mindset isn't rooted in resilience, you'll fold. Not because you're weak, but because you never trained your mind to stay when it hurts. Your mind will lie to you. It will whisper, "This isn't working." It will shout, "This isn't worth it." But your spirit must be louder. You must teach your mind that the goal isn't to feel good every day. The goal is to become someone you respect. And that doesn't come from ease. It comes from endurance. Mindset is the soil, and perseverance grows from it. A lazy mind cannot birth a strong will. So you train it daily, with discomfort, with commitment, with repetition. You remind yourself that struggle is not a sign to stop. It's a sign you're building something real. And belief is what locks you in place when everything else tells you to run. Belief is the quiet agreement you make with your soul. No matter what, I'm not leaving this mission half finished. That kind of belief becomes a shield. It protects you when the results don't show. It protects you when the world mocks. It protects you when the voice inside starts to stutter. Because it's not about whether or not the plan is working. It's about whether or not you still are. That's what separates the successful from the forgotten. Not that they never wanted to quit, but that they never did. Because perseverance is belief in motion. It's what happens when you take your hope, your pain, your vision, and pour it into action over and over again without expecting applause. And clarity is what keeps you aligned through it all. If you don't know what you're after, you'll chase what's shiny. You'll follow distractions dressed as opportunities. You'll burn your fuel on things that don't matter. But when your vision is clear, your perseverance becomes automatic. Because when you see it, you serve it. And you stop caring how long it takes. You stop negotiating with fatigue. You stop asking, "Is this worth it?" And start living like, "Of course it is." That's the magic of vision. It doesn't just inspire you. It stabilizes you. You don't build skyscrapers with confused blueprints. You don't climb mountains without knowing which peak is yours. So define it. Get clear. and then attach your entire identity to becoming the person who never leaves that vision on the table. That's where purpose is born. Not from chasing what's trendy, but from choosing what's true. And once you find it, you protect it with everything you have. Because purpose is fragile at first. It doesn't shout. It whispers. And it only grows when fed with focused, disciplined effort. Discipline is the bodyguard of perseverance. Without it, you'll drift. You'll cheat. You'll hope your way through days instead of owning them. Discipline is doing it anyway. Doing it tired. Doing it uninspired. Doing it when the voice inside you says, just this once, take the day off. No, success doesn't love excuses. Success doesn't love almost. Success doesn't love potential. Success loves perseverance. And perseverance lives inside the decisions you make when no one's watching. It lives in the reps you don't skip. The emails you send with shaking hands. The nights you study when others sleep. The 1,000 no's you endure to earn your first yes. Because that's how it works. The ones who win aren't the ones who had the best plan. They're the ones who kept moving when their plan broke. They're the ones who adapted. They didn't fall in love with the process. They fell in love with becoming someone who never gives up. And that is what makes you dangerous. Not talent, not charisma, not luck. Your ability to keep going, to keep climbing, to keep striking the stone until it splits. Because it always does. Eventually, the mountain cracks for the one who never walks away from it. And when it does, when that breakthrough finally arrives, no one will understand what it cost. They'll see the result, the glow, the stage, the reward, but not the grind. Not the 1,000 silent nights, not the times you broke down and still stood up, not the days when all you had was a single thread of faith and you clung to it like your life depended on it. But you'll know. And that knowing that inner record of every ounce of effort you gave when it didn't feel like it mattered, that's the glory. Not the trophy, not the title. The transformation. Because perseverance doesn't just change your results, it changes your identity. You become the person who finishes, the one who sees it through, the one who doesn't vanish when things get hard but sharpens in the storm. And that version of you, that's the one success has been waiting for. Not the impulsive you, not the one who starts and stops, tries and hides, hopes and quits. The disciplined you, the devoted you, the one who keeps their word long after the mood has faded, the one who understands that pain is part of the price. That progress doesn't ask for comfort. That perseverance isn't pretty, it's powerful. And once you embody that power, everything changes. Because now, when life tests you, and it will, you don't shrink. You expand. You take the hit, and then you build muscle where the bruise was. You take the loss, and then you turn it into leverage. You take the delay and turn it into domination. That's how real winners think. They don't expect an easy road. They expect resistance, and they use it to sharpen their edge. Because they know, if you want to move the world, you must first be unmoved by obstacles. You must be the one who refuses to go away. And to do that, you need more than motivation. You need to cultivate something deeper. Conviction. Conviction is what stays when motivation leaves. Conviction doesn't need perfect conditions. Conviction doesn't need praise. Conviction doesn't need company. It just moves. It shows up. It sweats. It fights. Conviction says, I didn't come this far just to come this far. And that sentence alone has saved more dreams than any feel-good quote ever has. Because perseverance isn't romantic. It's relentless. It doesn't skip days. It doesn't take shortcuts. It doesn't wait for the stars to align. It grinds in the dark. It sharpens in silence. And slowly, brick by brick, it builds the kind of life that can't be shaken. So if you want to be rich, free, fulfilled, whatever that vision is for you, remember this. It's not about starting. It's about staying. Anyone can start a dream, but few can stay inside the storm long enough to let that dream mature into reality. Because that's what perseverance is. It's emotional maturity in motion. It's the decision to parent your potential instead of abandoning it every time it cries. It's the choice to raise your standard every time life tries to lower it. It's the refusal to let how you feel dictate what you do. And every time you choose perseverance over passivity, you grow. You rise. You begin to separate from the masses. Because most people are driven by convenience. But those who become legends, they are driven by commitment. They know success loves perseverance because perseverance builds the infrastructure of greatness. Your habits, your focus, your energy, your ability to suffer with purpose. That's the architecture of the life you want. It is not built on bursts of excitement. It is built on days you didn't quit. And if you're in that season now, if you're in the middle of the mess, the stretch, the silence, keep going. Because the silence is not punishment, it's preparation. The stretch is not failure, it's formation. And the pain is proof that you're exactly where you need to be. Because if it didn't hurt, it wouldn't change you. If it didn't test you, it wouldn't train you. And if it didn't cost you something, it wouldn't be worth anything. So stop resenting the weight. Carry it. It's shaping you into someone the world will have no choice but to respect. Not because you demanded it, but because you embodied it. That's what perseverance does. It turns your character into currency. And eventually that currency buys you a life that doesn't need to beg for attention, chase validation, or explain itself. Because it speaks for itself. Loudly, boldly, without apology. And when they ask you how you did it, you won't need a script. You'll look them in the eyes and say the truth no one wants to hear. I didn't stop. That's it. No fancy formulas, no secret hacks, no magical routines. Just this. I didn't stop. I stayed when it was slow. I pushed when it was heavy. I believed when it was blurry. And that's all perseverance is showing up again with nothing but will. That's when success starts to pay attention. Not when you arrive with all the answers, but when you stay through all the questions. When you remain rooted in purpose while the world shakes. When your consistency becomes your credibility. See, people think success comes when you're at your best. But success comes when you perform at your worst and don't walk away. When you keep your rhythm even when your heart is broken. When you push the weight even when your confidence is low. When you finish the reps even when no one is clapping. That's when success starts whispering back, I see you, I'm coming. But it only whispers. It doesn't shout. It doesn't chase. Because success isn't trying to be caught by everyone, it's trying to be earned by the few. The few who are willing to walk alone, to lose sleep, to face ridicule, to confront failure without letting it define them. And that kind of perseverance, it changes your relationship with pressure. You stop avoiding it. You welcome it. Because you understand that pressure is where diamonds are born, where leaders are shaped, where empires begin, where weakness leaves and wisdom enters. So when the pressure comes, you don't panic, you breathe, you lock in, you work. You don't pray for less weight, you build stronger legs. Because you're not fragile anymore. You're not guessing anymore. You're not dabbling in growth. You're married to it. And marriage means loyalty, especially when it's hard, especially when it's inconvenient, especially when you don't feel like it. That's perseverance. It's loyalty to your future self. Loyalty to the version of you that is depending on today's choices to break through tomorrow's chains. And that loyalty is rare. But when it's real, it produces miracles. Not the loud kind, the kind that sneak up on you. One day, you wake up and realize you're different. You didn't get lucky. You got consistent. You didn't get chosen. You chose yourself. You didn't wait for a break. You became the break. Because perseverance is a daily negotiation between the person you used to be and the person you promised yourself you'd become. And every time you show up, even when it doesn't make sense, even when it doesn't feel good, you win. Maybe not the trophy yet, but something better. A reputation with yourself. The quiet knowing I am someone who follows through. That knowing is priceless because it means you can trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, you stop needing the world to cheer for you. You stop needing conditions to be perfect. You stop waiting for guarantees. You just move. You move with fire. You move with faith. You move with the kind of inner velocity that can only come from walking through failure and still choosing to rise. That's why success loves perseverance. Because perseverance builds the kind of internal architecture success can live in. A structure made of integrity, belief, clarity, grit, patience, faith, action, hunger, and above all, endurance. You endure enough days, and the world will have no choice but to respond. Because consistency compounds. Every page, every step, every rep, every decision, every tiny disciplined act of faith adds up until the walls of doubt collapse. Until the people who said you're wasting your time now whisper, "How did you do it?" And you'll answer with a smile, not out of arrogance, but out of reverence for the road you've walked. I didn't chase results. I stayed committed to growth. I didn't need easy. I needed worth it. I didn't rely on hype. I relied on discipline. I didn't give up because success loves perseverance. And that's all you'll ever need. Not more motivation, more movement, not more certainty, more conviction, not more comfort, more courage. And if you carry that, if you truly carry that inside you and live from it daily, there's nothing, and I mean nothing, that can stop you. Not fear, not failure, not doubt, not time, not loss, not lack, not rejection. Because perseverance doesn't promise ease. It promises elevation. And it always delivers. Elevation doesn't always look like victory at first. Sometimes it looks like another day in the dark, another door closed, another voice telling you it won't work. But real elevation begins inside, quiet, undeniable, permanent. It's the shift that happens when you stop chasing applause and start chasing alignment. When you stop performing for the world and start performing for the person in the mirror, when you finally realize that the man or woman who refuses to quit wins by default. Because most people do. Most people give up. Most people choose the soft road and decorate it with distractions. Most people run when it gets messy. But not you. Not anymore. You've seen too much. You've been through too much. You've come too far. You've buried the version of you that needed permission, approval, or perfect conditions to act. Now, you move anyway. You rise anyway. You speak, build, serve, train anyway. Because you no longer see perseverance as punishment. You see it as proof. Proof that your future matters more than your mood. Proof that your vision matters more than your feelings. Proof that your name will be carved into legacy not because it was easy, but because you endured. And that endurance, that is what greatness is made of. Not the big wins, not the flashy days, the ordinary hours done with extraordinary consistency. It's boring, it's brutal, it's beautiful. The repetition, the resistance, the rise, over and over until the man or woman you once imagined becomes your new reality. And suddenly, without warning, you realize that you are no longer waiting for a better life. You are walking in it. You're not playing catch-up anymore. You are the momentum. You are the movement. And it shows in everything, in your tone, in your walk, in your work. You don't explain your discipline. You embody it. You don't apologize for your ambition. You honor it. You don't fear being alone. You prefer it when necessary because that's when your mind sharpens and your roots grow. You know who you are now because you paid the price and you didn't flinch. You stayed with the mission when it was quiet, when it was cold, when it looked like nothing was working. You watered the seeds anyway. You lifted the weight anyway. You showed up anyway. And that is what makes you unstoppable. Because perseverance teaches you something most will never learn. You can't lose if you never leave. Let them be faster. Let them be flashier. Let them burn out trying to go viral. You're playing the long game. You're building something timeless. And when you build like that, you don't need luck. You don't need hype. You don't need applause. You just need another day, another set, another rep, another breath. And with each one, the gap between who you were and who you're becoming closes. That's how you win. Privately first, in the invisible moments, in the tiny decisions that no one sees, because that's where everything changes in the small. Not in the big wins that people celebrate, but in the uncelebrated acts of discipline that shape the winner. So if no one sees you yet, good. Stay hidden. Keep working. Let the silence mold you. Let the stillness test you. Because when perseverance is finally ready to reward you, it never shows up empty-handed. It shows up with clarity, with confidence, with capacity, with compound returns no one can explain, but everyone can feel. You'll become a force, rooted, unshakable. And the irony? When you finally arrive, you won't even need the applause. Because you'll know, I didn't come this far to be noticed. I came this far to be effective. And I am. Because I didn't stop. Because I didn't fold. Because I persevered. And that, more than anything, is why success loves me now. Not because I was the best, but because I stayed when it got bad. Not because I had it all figured out, but because I figured out how to stay. And you can too, if you're willing to choose it. Again, and again, and again. Success doesn't love talent. It doesn't love timing. It doesn't love talk. Success loves perseverance. It always has. Not perfection, not speed, not even brilliance, just perseverance. The unwavering decision that I will not quit on myself. Because the truth is, life will test you in silence before it rewards you in public. And if you cannot handle the quiet seasons, you will never survive the ones that come with pressure, spotlight, and responsibility. Everyone wants the crown, but the crown comes with weight, and only those who've trained in the dark have the neck to carry it. So train. Train when it's silent. Train when no one believes. Train when you're the only one clapping for yourself, because those who train alone rule later. And it's not because they were chosen. It's because they chose to keep showing up when it didn't make sense, when it didn't pay off, when it didn't feel fair. They understood that the grind is not punishment. The grind is permission. Permission to become great. Permission to evolve. Permission to write a life story so powerful that it needs no validation, only volume. And perseverance is how you turn the volume up, day by day, action by action, one moment of defiance at a time. Defiance against comfort. Defiance against quitting. Defiance against the part of you that wants to stay small. Because here's the reality. The only thing standing between you and the life you crave is the voice that keeps saying stop. That voice, it's lying. It's trying to protect you from pain. But what it doesn't know is that you're not afraid of pain anymore. You're willing to bleed for something meaningful. And that's what makes you dangerous. Because when a man or woman is no longer afraid of the work, of the weight, of the silence, they cannot be stopped. They become inevitable. Not because life hands them anything, but because they extract everything they need through effort. That's you now. You don't wait for energy, you create it. You don't hope for focus. You build it through structure. You don't chase purpose. You forge it with every decision you make. And as you keep going, you'll feel the shift. You'll feel yourself outgrowing your old excuses. You'll feel your internal standards rise so high that shortcuts feel disrespectful. You'll look back and realize, I didn't just persevere, I transformed. Because every act of perseverance is a vote for the person you promised yourself you'd become. And the more votes you cast, the harder it becomes to betray that person. That's the beauty of perseverance. It creates momentum. And momentum, that's the most powerful force in personal growth. It means you don't need to win the whole war today. You just need to win the next battle. You just need to take the next step, answer the next call, say no to the next distraction, Say yes to the next opportunity, even if it scares you, especially if it scares you. Because perseverance doesn't mean you're fearless. It means you move forward despite the fear. And with each movement, your courage compounds. Your confidence compounds. Your clarity compounds. Until suddenly the things that used to terrify you now bow to you. And the life that once felt out of reach now fits you like armor. That is the reward of staying, of holding the line when it shakes, of returning to your mission over and over, no matter how many storms try to tear you away. And eventually, you stop asking if you're on the right path, because you are the path now. You've become the proof. You've become the standard. You've become the example that others now watch, not because you told them to, but because you've become impossible to ignore. That's what success respects. Not noise, but evidence. Not hype, but history. Not image, but identity. And your identity is now carved from something no one can take. Perseverance. It's in your voice now. It's in your walk. It's in the way you sit with discomfort without flinching. It's in the way you no longer beg time for more, you command it. You've become someone different, not because the world changed for you, but because you changed your response to it. That's what perseverance does. It transforms your reflexes. What once made you freeze now makes you focus. What once made you run now makes you rise. What once made you doubt now makes you decide. Because when you've walked through enough pain without breaking, you start to realize something. You're no longer afraid of the process. You've made peace with the long road. You don't curse the distance. You trust it. Because you've learned that every step forward, no matter how small, is a strike against the old you. And you've struck enough times now that the old you can't hold you back anymore. Let them call you obsessed. Let them say you take things too seriously. Let them whisper that you've changed, because you have. You're no longer addicted to potential. You're addicted to progress. You don't want to be motivated. You want to be moved. Moved by purpose. Moved by the fire of what's possible. Moved by the memory of how far you've come and the promise of how far you can go if you don't stop. And that's the thing about perseverance, it remembers. It remembers the tears. It remembers the days you almost quit. It remembers the nights you stared at the ceiling, wondering if any of it mattered. And now it matters more than ever. Because this version of you, it's real. It's forged. It's earned. And nobody can take that from you. You've trained your soul to show up not because it's easy, not because it's popular, but because it's right. Because it's required. Because the person you were born to be doesn't live in the shadows of comfort, they live in the furnace of persistence. You've become the kind of person who doesn't wait for permission. You don't wait for the world to believe in you, you believe first. And the world, it adjusts. Because perseverance shifts the entire frequency of your life. Your energy becomes rare. Your habits become sacred. Your standards become steel. And your future unfolds. Not because you forced it, but because you outlasted everything that tried to bury it. You watered the seed when it was dry. You shielded the flame when the wind came. You trusted your steps when the path disappeared beneath your feet. And now the path makes sense. Now the steps were worth it. Now the growth is visible. And still you go. Because perseverance doesn't retire. It reinvents. It says, what's next? Not what now? It seeks the next peak, the next challenge, the next version of you hidden behind discomfort. Because success doesn't stop, and neither do you. You're not chasing finish lines anymore. You're becoming them. A walking example of what happens when someone decides, I will not give up, no matter what, no matter how long, no matter who leaves, who doubts, or who doesn't get it. I will finish what I started. And when I do, not only will I succeed, I will be someone who deserves the success. That's what perseverance gives you. Not just the reward, but the readiness. And when the two meet, that's when you become undeniable. Success loves perseverance. And now you understand why. Because perseverance proves who's worthy to hold success in their hands and carry it with honor. And when you understand that when perseverance becomes the core of how you live, not a tool you use once in a while, you realize something else. You don't need a break. You need a breakthrough. And breakthroughs don't come to the impatient. They come to the obsessed. The ones who show up not just on the good days, but on the days they feel forgotten, the days they feel invisible, the days when everything screams give up and they whisper back, not today. Because perseverance is not a skill, it's not a strategy, it's a decision made daily, hourly, sometimes minute by minute. And every time you say yes to the grind, to the work, to the lonely road, you build something no one can fake, inner fire. Not the loud fire, the steady one, the kind that doesn't flash, but burns. You walk differently with that fire. You speak less, but say more. You don't compete because you already know where you're going. You're not here for noise, you're here for legacy. Legacy is built on endurance. The flashy burnout, the loud fade out, the emotional collapse. But the consistent, the disciplined, the relentlessly aligned, they last. They lead. They win. Because life rewards the ones who refuse to stop climbing, even when they haven't seen the summit for years, even when they've lost friends, even when they've been laughed at, even when nothing external looks like it's working. They keep planting, keep sowing, keep believing. They understand something the world never teaches. Just because it's not fast doesn't mean it's not working. Growth takes time. Fruit takes seasons. And mastery takes everything. It will ask for your time, your energy, your attention, your ego, your excuses, your comfort, your distractions, your need to be liked. And when you give all that, it will hand you back something worth more than gold. Clarity of who you are. And in that clarity, your pace increases. Not because the world changed, but because you did. You stop waiting for better timing. You create it. You stop overthinking every step. You trust the mission. You stop trying to avoid resistance. You embrace it as the doorway. That's the shift. That's when perseverance isn't something you force. It's something you are. It lives in your routines, in your body, in your blood. You no longer try to be consistent. You are consistent. You no longer hope for growth. You create it. And because you've stuck with it through the worst, you now have the strength to carry the best. Because success is not just about elevation, it's about integration. Can you stay grounded as you rise? Can you stay humble as you grow? Can you stay focused when the lights turn on? Because perseverance didn't just build your life, it built your character. And character is what keeps you there once you arrive. And that's the final test. Can you keep climbing even when you win? Can you keep pushing even when you're praised? Can you stay relentless when comfort returns? Because perseverance doesn't end when the goal is reached, it evolves. It becomes stewardship. It becomes responsibility. It becomes purpose. You're no longer just climbing for you. Now, you're carving a path for others. You're showing them what it looks like to not give up. You're showing them what it sounds like to walk with discipline. You're showing them how greatness is built in silence and revealed in storms. And maybe that's the greatest reward of all. Not the money, not the fame, not even the success, but the chance to light the way for someone else, to be the proof they need, to become the example they never had. And you earned that right because you persevered, because you stayed when others left, because you bled where others blamed, because you chose to believe when there was nothing left but belief itself. And now you carry the fire. Now you carry the standard. Now you are the signal that says, it's possible if you're willing to pay the price. And what's the price? Consistency, resilience, courage, sacrifice, vision, action, and above all, perseverance. Because no matter where you come from, no matter what they said, no matter how long it's taken, if you refuse to quit, you will rise. Because success loves perseverance. And the higher you rise, the more you'll realize it was never just about achievement. It was about alignment. Alignment with the truth inside you, the calling you couldn't explain, the voice you couldn't silence, the one that whispered in your quietest moments. Don't stop, even when the world told you to settle, even when your bank account laughed, even when you walked alone, without validation, without applause. That voice inside, the one that begged you to continue, that was your future self calling you home. And every time you listened, every time you obeyed that voice over the noise, you moved closer, not just to results, but to realness, to authenticity, to a life that feels right in your bones. That's what perseverance leads to. Not just success, but sovereignty. The ability to walk through life as you are, without needing permission, without shrinking, without hiding your fire to make others comfortable. Because you've already paid. You paid with effort. You paid with discipline. You paid with nights no one saw and sacrifices no one will ever know. And now you own it. Not just the win, but the worth. Because when you stay in the fire long enough, it doesn't burn you. It builds you. It burns off the lies, the old stories, the excuses, the softness. And what's left is truth. The kind of truth that can't be bought, can't be borrowed, can't be taught in books or shouted in seminars, only earned through perseverance, through the holy grind of becoming. And that's what you've done. You didn't ask life to make it easier. You became stronger. You didn't beg for opportunities. You built capacity. You didn't chase shortcuts. You crafted endurance. And now you are no longer one of them. The ones who blame, the ones who wait, the ones who dabble and disappear. No, you are the rare one. The one who chose pain over passivity. The one who chose movement over mood. The one who chose responsibility over regret. And you did it not because you had to, but because something in you knew. Knew that success isn't reserved for the lucky. Knew that your destiny couldn't be inherited. Knew that the cost of your calling was consistency. And now you're reaping the harvest. Not because you rushed, but because you refused to stop planting, even when the fields were dry, even when the winds howled, even when others walked away, laughing. You kept planting. You kept working. You kept trusting. Because somewhere inside you, deeper than fear, deeper than fatigue, deeper than failure, you believed. You believed that perseverance would not betray you. And it didn't. It never does. It waits. It watches. And then one day it rises with you. You become the kind of person who doesn't just chase success. You attract it. Because success is drawn to those who have proven they won't quit halfway. It needs people it can trust. It needs hands that won't tremble under pressure. It needs minds that won't fold under resistance. It needs hearts that keep beating even after being broken. And you've become that kind of person. So now you walk with quiet certainty. You no longer yell about your goals. You live them. You no longer explain your work ethic. You embody it. You no longer perform for validation. You radiate evidence. Because everything around you now, the strength, the clarity, the momentum, didn't happen by accident. It was built one difficult day at a time, one lonely choice at a time, one unseen act of discipline at a time. You kept climbing, and now the view is changing. Not because the mountain got smaller, but because you became bigger. And if there's one thing the mountain respects, it's perseverance. Because the mountain doesn't move for the timid. It doesn't yield to excuses. It doesn't lower itself for convenience. It waits. It waits for the one who keeps climbing through the storms, through the silence, through the seasons where nothing makes sense and everything feels like too much. It waits for the one who understands. You don't conquer the summit. You earn the right to stand on it. And now you're standing taller not because the world got lighter, but because your legs got stronger. You've become someone who is trusted by adversity, trusted by resistance, trusted by the process, because you've shown up when it didn't pay, when it didn't make sense, when it didn't feel good. You kept showing up. And that, more than anything, is why success is now finding you. Because success doesn't respond to noise. It responds to proof. And perseverance is the loudest proof there is. It's the testimony written in early mornings and late nights. It's in the quiet yes to your dreams and the louder no to distractions. It's in the decision to grow when no one's watching, to prepare when no one's listening, to believe when no one's clapping. That's what separates the great from the forgotten. Not that they never struggled, but that they never left. They stayed with it. They stayed through it. Because they knew consistency compounds in silence, but it pays out in full view. So now when people ask how you did it, you won't talk about luck. You won't talk about timing. You'll talk about the days it got ugly and you still didn't run. You'll talk about the days you felt broken and still refused to be bitter. You'll talk about the moments no one believed in you and you believed harder. And they'll look at you differently because you're no longer just successful. You're solid. You're sure. You're not chasing anything anymore. You're leading. And that kind of strength, that's what perseverance builds. Strength that cannot be borrowed. Strength that doesn't flex. It anchors. You become the lighthouse, the steady force others lean on. Not because you had it easy, but because you endured. And now you realize perseverance didn't just bring you here. It made you ready to stay. Because reaching success is one thing. Keeping it, that's a different level of discipline. That's a deeper devotion. That's when perseverance doesn't just keep you climbing, it keeps you grounded. It keeps you humble. It keeps you focused. It reminds you, you didn't get here to relax, you got here to build. So now you build with more precision, with more purpose, with more patience, because you've already fought the war of becoming and won. And now you turn your scars into maps. Now you turn your lessons into light. Now you turn your sweat into systems. And the most beautiful part, you start teaching others how to do the same. Not through words, through example, through excellence, through endurance. Because that's what perseverance gives you in the end, not just success, but significance. A life that echoes beyond your breath. A life that leaves footprints in the fire for others to follow. A life that says, I walked through hell and I didn't stop. I failed 100 times and I kept building. I was forgotten by many, but I never forgot my mission. I bent, but I never broke. And because of that, because you kept going, now you carry something rare, something sacred, something permanent. You carry the kind of success that loves you back because it knows you never quit on it. Because success remembers who stayed loyal when no one was watching. It remembers who showed up when the reward was nothing but silence. It remembers who stayed faithful when progress was invisible and the finish line was hidden by fog. You may not have seen results right away, but success was watching. You may not have felt momentum at first, but success was moving toward you the entire time. Every step, every hour, every hard choice it was stacking, quietly, invisibly, relentlessly. Because perseverance doesn't pay you back all at once. It pays with compound interest, and one day, it hits. All at once. A flood. Doors swing open. People start calling. Opportunities arrive. The world finally sees what you've always known. And it feels sudden, but it wasn't. It was earned. Not through luck, not through noise, not through gimmicks, but through grit. The kind of grit that outlasts trends, outlasts failure, outlasts doubt. You cultivated it every time you chose action over excuses. You refined it every time you stayed consistent without applause. You protected it every time you said no to things that didn't match your vision, even when it cost you comfort, relationships, security. That's the kind of power the world bows to. The kind it cannot ignore. Because it's built on truth. Not the truth others gave you, the truth you discovered through effort. That you are capable of more than you thought. That you are stronger than the voice that said, quit. that you are not here to dabble. You are here to dominate, not by stepping on others, but by standing fully in your own power. And now that power is undeniable. You've earned the voice that doesn't shake when it speaks, the presence that doesn't shrink when it enters a room, the calm that doesn't crack under pressure, and the freedom that can't be bought, only built. You built it with the days you wanted to give up but didn't, with the weeks you felt behind but kept going, with the years you worked in obscurity, not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. And now, the person you've become is exactly who you once prayed you'd meet. You've become your own miracle, your own engine, your own validation, and you're just getting started. Because perseverance doesn't have a finish line. It evolves. What once was impossible is now your warm-up. What once required courage now runs on instinct. What once felt like a dream is now just your standard. And that's how you know you're aligned. Because success is no longer something you chase. It's something you attract by the gravity of who you are. And who you are is someone who never needed things to be easy, only possible. And the moment you realized possible was enough, the world opened. Not because it gave you permission, but because you stopped waiting for it. You took it. You claimed it. You lived it. And that's what perseverance does. It turns potential into proof, dreams into discipline, and struggle into strength. Not because life got easier, but because you got relentless. And if there's one lesson that lives in the bones of every success story, it's this. Perseverance doesn't guarantee a fast reward, but it guarantees a final one. The kind that no one can steal. The kind that doesn't fade. The kind that speaks even in your silence and says to the world, I didn't stop. I didn't bow. I didn't break. I became. And now I live in the life I built with the only thing that never failed me. Perseverance. You became. You didn't wait to be discovered. You didn't wait for inspiration. You didn't wait for guarantees or for someone to validate your vision. You became your own answer, your own engine, your own proof. Because you finally understood. You are not here to be found. You are here to build. And building takes courage. Building means sweat on days that look like failure. Building means stacking bricks, even when the ground feels unstable. Building means enduring criticism from people too scared to even pick up a hammer. But you didn't flinch. You chose the hard path, not because it was hard, but because it was honest. And there's something unshakable about a person who lives in full alignment with their honesty. They don't need a script. They don't need a spotlight. They don't even need recognition. They just are. Unbothered by doubt, unmoved by delay, untouched by the noise of the world because they're tuned into a different frequency, legacy. That's where you live now. Not in pursuit of comfort, but in service of impact. Because when you've walked with perseverance long enough, your goals change. It's no longer about status. It's about substance. It's no longer about being seen. It's about seeing clearly. And what you see now, you see that the dream wasn't the reward. The reward was who you had to become to carry it. The reward is waking up and knowing you can trust your word. The reward is being proud of your path even if no one else understands it. The reward is peace. The kind of peace that only comes when your actions match your ambition, when your habits match your hunger, when your results finally reflect your relentlessness. But even now, as you rise higher, you stay grounded because perseverance didn't just build your path, it built your principles. And principles protect you. They keep you sharp when things get easy. They keep you focused when praise shows up. They keep you humble when momentum builds. They remind you, you didn't come this far just to become soft. You didn't suffer through the nights, the noise, the silence, the stretch, just to relax once the results arrive. You came here to expand, to stretch again, to climb again, to become again. Because perseverance isn't a one-time thing. It's a lifestyle. And now that it's in your bones, there's no going back. There's only one direction left forward. You've burned the bridges behind you. You've buried the excuses. You've walked too far to stop now, and you wouldn't want to. Because this isn't about just one win. It's about building a life that keeps winning. A life that breathes purpose. A life that multiplies your example into others. A life where every morning begins with a vow. I will not betray what I've built. I will not retreat from who I've become. That's your creed now. Not because it's catchy, but because it's true. Every step you've taken to get here was the evidence. And now you walk into every room with power. Not noise, power. The quiet kind. The kind that doesn't ask for permission. The kind that doesn't hope to be accepted. The kind that doesn't waver under pressure because it was forged in it. And when people wonder how, when they look at the calm in your eyes, the strength in your tone, the presence in your silence, and they ask what your secret is, you won't say much. You'll just smile. And maybe, just maybe, you'll say the truth that carried you through every season. I didn't stop. I persevered. And that's why I'm still standing, stronger, clearer, wiser, and more dangerous than ever. Because when you walk with perseverance, not only do you reach the destination, you own it. Success doesn't just happen to you. It becomes you. And once it does, once you wear it, live it, breathe it, you never go back to chasing it again. Because now you are it. This is what perseverance creates. This is the life built not by talent or luck or hype, but by unshakable effort, unbreakable belief, and an unstoppable commitment to never stop becoming. This is success, and it loves perseverance. You're sitting there right now knowing deep down inside you have more potential than you're tapping into. You feel the weight of your dreams pulling at your heart, yet you look around and wonder where all the time has gone. Your ambitions, your desires, the life you've imagined for yourself, all of it feels so far out of reach. You feel stuck, frustrated, and unsure of how to get ahead. What's the missing link? Why are you not moving forward? It's time. Time is the one resource you cannot replace. Once it's gone forever. Yet so many of us spend our precious time aimlessly, not even realizing that we're in the habit of wasting it. We let distractions control us, we procrastinate, and we allow life to pass us by. But this moment right now can change everything. Imagine for a moment that you have all the time you need to build the life you've always dreamed of. Imagine waking up every day, knowing exactly what you need to do, taking deliberate action, and making steady progress toward your goals. The difference between where you are now and where you want to be lies in how you use the time you have. Time is the one thing we all have in equal measure, and it's also the one thing most people waste without realizing the cost. Today, you're going to stop wasting time. You're going to start winning. And the first step is to understand how time is slipping through your fingers and how you can take control. 1. Take responsibility for your time. It's so easy to blame external factors. It's easy to point the finger at your job, your environment, your relationships, or even luck. We like to think that if only things were different, we would be more productive, more successful, more focused. But blaming others or circumstances for your lack of time management is the first step toward failure. It's time to stop playing the victim of your own life. Take full responsibility for how you spend every minute of your day. When you do, you unlock your power to change. Every decision you make, what you eat, what you watch, what you do, who you spend time with, is your responsibility. If you're not happy with where you are in life, it's not the fault of your job, your family, or your circumstances. It's your responsibility to take control of your time, to stop allowing the outside world to dictate what you do with it. When you take responsibility, you take ownership of your future. The first step to stop wasting time is to stop blaming and start owning your choices. Every minute counts. Make every one of them count. The moment you realize that your time is in your hands, you realize that you can shape your destiny. 2. Get rid of the distractions. Distractions are the silent killers of success. They take your focus away from what matters most and leave you spinning your wheels. They are the small things that seem innocent at first, but over time, take up your most valuable resource, time. Think about it. How often do you get caught up in checking your phone, scrolling through social media, watching videos, or engaging in endless conversations that have no bearing on your goals? These distractions feel like small, insignificant moments, but they add up and they rob you of your potential. To start winning, you must eliminate distractions. The most successful people in the world understand this principle. They don't let distractions rule their lives. Instead, they make time for what matters and they cut out everything else. Start by identifying the biggest distractions in your life. What is keeping you from focusing on what's most important? Is it social media, mindless television, negative people? Once you know what these distractions are, create a strategy to minimize or eliminate them. Set boundaries with your time. When you're working toward your goals, be intentional about how you spend every minute. Turn off notifications. Limit your time on social media. Set designated hours to work and treat that time as sacred. The more you protect your time from distractions, the more time you have for meaningful work that gets you closer to your success. 3. Master your daily routine. The most successful people on the planet aren't lucky. They've mastered their routines. A well-structured day is a powerful tool. If you want to stop wasting time and start winning, you need to have a daily routine that aligns with your goals. You cannot succeed by simply hoping that you'll get things done. You must intentionally plan your day so that every hour counts. When you wake up in the morning, you set the tone for the rest of the day. Successful people don't leave their day to chance. They know exactly what they need to accomplish, and they have a plan to get it done. They wake up with purpose. They plan their day the night before, and they take action immediately. To master your routine, start by identifying your most important tasks. These are the tasks that will move you closest to your goals. Whether it's working on a project, investing in learning, or building relationships, you must prioritize these tasks and tackle them first. Start each day with a morning ritual. It could be exercise, meditation, or reading something that fuels your mind. This gives you the mental clarity and energy to face the day's challenges. From there, create a to-do list, breaking down your tasks into manageable chunks. Focus on one task at a time without multitasking. When you master your daily routine, you are in control of your time and your progress. 4. Stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is a fleeting emotion. It comes and goes, like waves on the shore. Some days you feel fired up and ready to conquer the world. Other days, you feel drained, uninspired, and uncertain. If you wait for motivation to show up before you take action, you will never succeed. The key is to build momentum first, and motivation will follow. The act of doing, of taking that first step, even when you don't feel like it, is what generates motivation. When you take action, no matter how small, you create a ripple effect that keeps you moving forward. The most successful people don't wait for motivation. They create it through action. They show up every day, even when they don't feel like it, and they do the work. They understand that success is not about waiting for the perfect conditions. It's about starting where you are, with what you have, and doing the work every single day. Stop waiting for motivation. Create your own momentum. Start now, no matter how you feel. The more you act, the more motivated you will become. 5. Learn to say no. One of the most powerful skills you can develop is the ability to say no. Time is precious. And every time you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else. Successful people understand the importance of saying no to distractions, obligations, and people who don't align with their goals. Saying yes to everything is a surefire way to waste your time and spread yourself too thin. The more you take on, the less focus you have for what really matters. To stop wasting time, you need to learn to say no to anything that doesn't bring you closer to your vision. This doesn't mean being rude or dismissive. It means being intentional about where you spend your time. It means recognizing that your time is valuable and protecting it from being drained by people or activities that don't serve your goals. Learn to say no to the things that take you off course, and yes to the things that align with your purpose. This one decision will free up your time and give you the focus you need to start winning. 6. Cultivate a sense of urgency. If there's one thing that can turn your life around, it's a sense of urgency. We often waste time because we feel like we have endless amounts of it. We delay, we procrastinate, and we put off the things that matter. But the truth is, you don't have forever. Time is constantly slipping through your fingers. The clock is ticking, and if you don't take action now, you may find yourself years down the road wondering where all the time went. Successful people don't waste time. They move with purpose. They understand that time is a limited resource, and they make every minute count. Cultivate a sense of urgency in everything you do. Act quickly. When you have an idea, don't wait. Take action. When you have a goal, don't delay. Start working on it right away. Every minute you waste is a minute that could be spent creating the life you desire. The more urgency you bring to your actions, the faster you will achieve your dreams. Conclusion: take control of your time. Take control of your life. Time is the most powerful resource you have, but only if you use it wisely. By taking responsibility for how you spend every minute, eliminating distractions, mastering your routine, building momentum, saying no to what doesn't serve you, and cultivating a sense of urgency, you will stop wasting time and start winning. Success isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things with focus, determination, and discipline. The more you align your actions with your goals, the faster your dreams will become your reality. So, take control. Stop waiting. Start acting. And make every second count. The life you've always wanted is right within your grasp, and the only thing standing between you and that success is your ability to use your time effectively. The time is now. Go make it happen. Creating unstoppable momentum. You've heard it before. Momentum is a powerful force. The momentum you create now can carry you through the toughest of times. It's the engine that propels you forward, even when everything seems to be working against you. But here's the truth. Momentum is built through consistent, intentional action. You start small. You begin by making the decision to take action even when you don't feel like it. As you take one small step, another follows. Then, a few days later, you've created a rhythm, a pattern, a force that keeps moving, even on its own. Momentum doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, but once it's in motion, it's unstoppable. The hardest part is starting. Once you begin, once you make that first decision to act, momentum takes over. It pushes you, motivates you, and carries you forward toward your dreams. The key is to act without waiting for the perfect conditions. Most people wait for everything to align perfectly before they take that first step. But here's what you need to understand. Perfection is an illusion. The perfect time will never come. The stars will never align in a way that makes it easy to move forward. You have to start, no matter the circumstances, and let momentum carry you. Think of momentum like a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it's small, barely noticeable. But with every roll, it gathers more and more snow, building in size and speed. Eventually, it becomes a force so powerful that nothing can stop it. That's how your success works when you build momentum. The importance of being present. Time is fleeting, but so often we waste it by living in the past or the future. The only moment that truly exists is now. You can't change yesterday, and you can't control tomorrow, but you can control today. And today is the only opportunity you have to make progress. When you focus on the past, you trap yourself in regret, guilt, or anger. When you focus too much on the future, you fill yourself with anxiety and fear. But when you focus on the present, you give yourself the power to make things happen. Being present means being fully engaged in the task at hand, not letting your mind wander or your attention drift. It's the ability to focus deeply on what you're doing right now, not on what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow. Being present is the key to maximizing your time and energy. How do you become present? Start by practicing mindfulness. Take a moment before you begin your day to breathe deeply and center yourself. Focus on your breath, on your senses, and on the here and now. In moments of high stress or distraction, take a pause, ground yourself, and refocus on what's important. When you live in the present, you become more productive. You give your full attention to the task in front of you, and as a result, your actions become more deliberate, more effective. The more you practice presence, the more you will accomplish in less time. Living with purpose. Purpose is the driving force behind everything successful people do. Living with purpose means understanding your why, the reason behind your goals, your actions, and your aspirations. Without purpose, time slips away with no real direction. But when you are driven by purpose, every moment becomes meaningful. What is your purpose? Why do you get out of bed every morning? What do you want to achieve with your life? When you connect deeply with your purpose, every action you take becomes infused with meaning. Your purpose is the lens through which you filter every decision you make. People who live with purpose have an inner fire that drives them forward. They are not distracted by fleeting pleasures or irrelevant concerns. Their purpose guides them through the day, giving them the energy and determination to do what must be done. To start living with purpose, take a step back and ask yourself, what do I want my life to stand for? This isn't just about your career or finances. It's about the legacy you want to create, the impact you want to have, and the person you want to become. Your purpose will give you the focus and clarity you need to stop wasting time and start creating real lasting success. The power of accountability. Success is not something you can achieve in isolation. It requires accountability. When you have someone, a mentor, a friend, a coach, or even a group holding you accountable, you are more likely to take action and stay focused on your goals. Accountability is not about someone telling you what to do. It's about being responsible to someone, or even to yourself, for the promises you make. When you have someone checking in with you on your progress, it gives you the added push to keep going, even when you don't feel like it. You are far more likely to stick with your commitments when you know someone else is watching. The fear of letting others down or facing the consequences of not following through is often enough to motivate you to stay on track. Find someone who will hold you accountable, someone who challenges you, pushes you, and keeps you on your toes. It could be a friend, a mentor, or a coach. And just as importantly, hold yourself accountable. Set standards for yourself and don't let them slide. Accountability is a powerful tool for success because it forces you to face the reality of your actions and their consequences. Mastering the art of focused action. Success doesn't come from being busy. It comes from focused action. The key to getting ahead is not doing more, but doing the right things with undivided attention. How many times have you found yourself working on something only to realize that you were distracted for the last half hour? Maybe you were checking your email, scrolling through social media, or talking to someone in the middle of your task. When you multitask, your effectiveness diminishes and your time is wasted. Focused action means eliminating distractions, setting clear priorities, and dedicating yourself to one thing at a time. When you focus on one task at a time and give it your full attention, you will accomplish more in less time. How do you focus? It starts with setting specific, measurable goals. Know exactly what you want to achieve and break it down into smaller, manageable tasks. Then, focus all your energy on completing each task with excellence. Stop trying to do everything at once. When you master the art of focused action, you will stop wasting time and start achieving. Stop waiting for motivation. Build discipline. Motivation is fleeting. It's a powerful emotion when it's there, but it can't be relied upon to keep you moving forward. If you wait for motivation to strike, you'll waste more time than you can afford. The real key to success is discipline, the ability to do the work even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is what keeps you on track when motivation fades. It's the habit of showing up every day and doing what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel. Discipline is built on consistency. It's the commitment to your goals, even when the excitement is worn off. When you build the habit of discipline, you will no longer be dependent on motivation. You will take action every single day because you know that success is the result of persistent effort, not fleeting inspiration. Start today. No more waiting. Now is the time. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect conditions. There will never be a perfect time to take action. The moment you are waiting for is already here. Success requires decisiveness. It requires you to act, not wait. Every moment that you put off your goals is another moment that could have been spent moving you closer to your dreams. The future you want is built on the choices you make today. Stop putting things off. Stop procrastinating. Start today and start with purposeful action. Make each decision count. You've waited long enough. Now it's time to make things happen. Conclusion. Own your time. Own your life. Time is your most valuable resource. It's the one thing you can never get back, and it's the only thing that stands between you and the life you want. By taking control of your time, by focusing on what truly matters, eliminating distractions, taking responsibility, and building the habits that lead to success, you can stop wasting time and start winning. This is your life. Take charge of it. Start today. Your future depends on the decisions you make right now. Stop waiting. Stop wasting time. Own your life and make every moment count. Your success is not only possible, it's inevitable if you decide to act. Now is your time. Go out there and win. The power of consistency and small wins. Success doesn't happen with one grand gesture or a single lucky break. It happens through small wins, day after day. Every small, consistent action you take compounds over time and leads you toward your ultimate goals. Too many people give up after a few attempts because they don't see immediate results. But the truth is, greatness is built on the foundation of small, consistent actions. Think about your goals like building a house. You don't construct a house in a day. You lay one brick at a time, and each brick, no matter how small, gets you closer to completing the structure. Similarly, every action you take today is another brick in the foundation of your success. The key to achieving your dreams is to show up every day, ready to do the work. It doesn't matter how big the task is. What matters is that you keep doing it consistently. Those small actions, whether they're related to your business, personal growth, or relationships, all add up. One small win every day is like placing a brick in your success. It's time to embrace the idea that small steps lead to big results. Stop waiting for a breakthrough. The breakthrough happens when you stay consistent in your efforts, no matter how small they seem. Building mental strength through adversity. In the pursuit of success, you will face adversity. This is inevitable. Life will throw challenges at you, and things won't always go your way. But the way you respond to those challenges will determine your path. Adversity is the true test of your mental strength. When things get tough, it's easy to want to quit, to step back and say, maybe I'm not cut out for this. But successful people don't quit. They lean into the discomfort. They use adversity to fuel their growth, not to break them. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to build resilience. It's an opportunity to learn, adapt, and become stronger. Mental toughness is the ability to keep pushing forward, even when you want to give up. It's the ability to find solutions when everything seems like a problem. When you face adversity, remind yourself that this moment will pass. The difficulties you face today are shaping you into the person you need to become. And the stronger you get, the bigger the challenges you can handle. Focusing on the process, not just the outcome. Too many people focus only on the destination. They fixate on the end result and believe that happiness and success come only when they achieve their goal. But the truth is, success isn't just about the destination, it's about the process. It's about who you become along the way, the lessons you learn, and the growth you experience. When you focus solely on the outcome, you set yourself up for disappointment. There will always be new challenges, new goals to achieve, and new heights to reach. But when you focus on the process, on the daily actions, the effort, the learning, you create a sense of fulfillment that doesn't rely on external achievements. The most successful people understand that the journey is the reward. The joy is in the effort. in becoming better every day, in making progress toward your goals. When you focus on the process, you stop stressing about the outcome and enjoy the growth that's happening in real time. Developing emotional intelligence. Success isn't just about hard skills. It's also about emotional intelligence. Your ability to understand and manage your emotions, as well as the emotions of others, plays a significant role in your success. Emotional intelligence allows you to build stronger relationships, navigate challenges with grace, and stay calm under pressure. Emotional intelligence is the key to maintaining focus, managing stress, and bouncing back from setbacks. It's what keeps you steady when things get chaotic. It helps you make better decisions, communicate more effectively, and lead with empathy. To develop emotional intelligence, start by self-reflecting. Become aware of your emotional triggers. How do you react when you're stressed? When you face failure? When things don't go as planned? Once you identify your emotional patterns, you can start to work on responding in a more constructive, calm, and thoughtful manner. When you master emotional intelligence, you gain the ability to handle anything life throws your way with resilience and poise. This is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. Embracing change and adaptability. Change is inevitable. The world is constantly evolving, and so must you. The most successful people are those who embrace change rather than fear it. They understand that change is an opportunity for growth and innovation, not something to resist. Success is not static. To keep winning, you must adapt to new circumstances, learn new skills, and be open to new ideas. Stagnation is the enemy of success. The moment you stop evolving, you stop growing. To embrace change, you must let go of old habits and outdated thinking. If what you're doing isn't bringing the results you want, be willing to change your approach. This might mean learning new technology, acquiring new knowledge, or stepping out of your comfort zone. But if you want to stay ahead, you must be adaptable. Building a legacy of impact. At the end of the day, success is about more than just personal achievement. It's about impact. True success leaves a legacy. It's not just about wealth or accolades, but about the difference you make in the lives of others. What do you want to be remembered for? How do you want to impact the world around you? True success is measured not by how much you accumulate for yourself, but by how much you contribute to the world. When you focus on creating a legacy, one built on value, integrity, and service, you become part of something much bigger than yourself. The most successful people understand that success is not just for personal gain. It's about leaving the world better than you found it. Whether it's through your work, your relationships, or your contributions to society, your legacy is what will outlast you. It's the mark you leave on the world, the lives you touch, and the difference you make. Conclusion. Taking ownership of your time, your actions, and your success. You have the power to shape your future. Success is a choice that starts with how you spend your time, how you respond to challenges, and how you manage your actions. When you take ownership of your time, your habits, and your mindset, success becomes inevitable. Stop wasting time. Start focusing on the small actions that add up to big results. Take responsibility for your life. Embrace the discomfort of growth, the process of learning, and the challenge of adapting to new circumstances. Build momentum, stay disciplined, and continue making consistent progress. Success is not a destination, it's a journey. And that journey begins right now, with the decisions you make today. It's up to you to make every moment count. Now is the time to take control of your life. Stop wasting time and start winning. Your success begins with you. The role of self-reflection in success. As you move through life, the importance of self-reflection cannot be overstated. Self-reflection is the key that unlocks personal growth. It's in the quiet moments, when you take the time to look inward, that you can truly evaluate your actions, decisions, and mindset. Self-reflection allows you to gain clarity on where you are, where you're headed, and what adjustments are necessary for achieving your goals. Successful people take the time to reflect on their day, their progress, and their mistakes. They don't shy away from the truth about themselves. They look honestly at what they've done and where they've fallen short, and they learn from it. This process allows them to correct course quickly and make better decisions moving forward. To reflect effectively, ask yourself tough questions. What could I have done better today? What did I learn from this setback? How can I improve tomorrow? Did my actions align with my vision? By answering these questions honestly, you ensure that each day is a step forward in your growth. Self-reflection keeps you on track. It helps you identify patterns, build on your strengths, and eliminate weaknesses. The power of consistent learning and unlearning. In the pursuit of success, learning never stops. In fact, the most successful individuals are those who make a lifelong commitment to learning. But it's not just about accumulating knowledge, it's about the ability to unlearn the things that no longer serve you. Sometimes we become attached to old beliefs, habits, or methods that no longer align with our goals. The process of unlearning is just as important as learning. It's about letting go of the outdated strategies and limiting beliefs that hold you back. To move forward, you must be willing to challenge your own assumptions, question your mindset, and let go of outdated habits. The most successful people are not the ones who know the most. They are the ones who embrace new ideas and are willing to adapt their thinking to fit the evolving landscape of life. They continuously look for new ways to improve themselves, and they don't let their past hold them back. So, never stop learning. Seek out new knowledge, expose yourself to different perspectives, and constantly evaluate your approach to growth. But also, learn the art of unlearning. Let go of what's limiting you, and make space for new ways of thinking, new habits, and new opportunities. Building your inner circle. The people you surround yourself with will have a profound impact on your success. Your inner circle should be a group of individuals who support, challenge, and inspire you to be better every day. The right people in your life will help you stay accountable, motivate you when you're struggling, and push you to reach your highest potential. Evaluate your relationships. Who are you spending the most time with? Are they helping you grow or holding you back? Success isn't just about hard work and dedication. It's about surrounding yourself with individuals who uplift you and push you forward. Your inner circle should be full of people who are highly driven, positive, and aligned with your vision. There's an old saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Think about that for a moment. Are the people you're spending your time with helping you move closer to your goals? Are they pushing you to be better, or are they dragging you down? It's time to actively curate your relationships. Surround yourself with those who will challenge you to rise to your best self. This doesn't mean cutting people out of your life, but it does mean intentionally investing your time and energy in relationships that help you grow, learn, and succeed. Mastering the art of patience and persistence. Success is not a sprint. It is a marathon. And like any marathon, it requires immense amounts of patience and persistence. It's easy to get excited at the beginning of your journey, but the true test comes when the initial excitement fades and the reality of hard work and challenges sets in. Patience is the ability to stay the course, even when the results aren't immediate. It's the understanding that success doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. And persistence is the unwavering commitment to your goals, no matter how many setbacks or obstacles you face along the way. Persistence is what allows you to keep going when everyone else gives up. It's what keeps you moving forward, even when it feels like progress is slow. Persistence is the refusal to quit, the decision to keep fighting for your dreams, no matter what. To develop patience and persistence, you must embrace the long-term process. Trust that your efforts will pay off, even when you don't see immediate results. Focus on the small steps you can take each day, knowing that each small step adds up over time. Success requires the ability to be patient with the process and persistent in your actions. It requires the mindset that no matter how long it takes, you will not stop until you reach your destination. Taking smart risks. Great success rarely comes without taking smart risks. Playing it safe won't lead to extraordinary results. To achieve greatness, you must be willing to step outside your comfort zone, take calculated risks, and embrace the possibility of failure. Smart risks are those that are informed by knowledge, experience, and intuition. They are not reckless, but they do involve stepping into the unknown and trusting that you can handle whatever comes your way. The best opportunities in life are often found in the unknown. They require you to take chances, and push past your fears. The most successful people are those who have learned how to assess risk, weigh their options, and take decisive action. It's time to embrace the unknown. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll never take the first step. Instead, take the leap. Trust that you have the ability to figure things out along the way. Smart risks lead to the greatest rewards, and they help you grow, learn, and achieve things that would otherwise be out of reach. Achieving sustainable success. True success is not about short-term wins. It's about achieving sustainable success over the long haul. It's about creating habits and systems that allow you to maintain your progress, continue growing, and thrive for years to come. Sustainable success is the result of consistent effort, continuous learning, and an unwavering commitment to your goals. It's about building the right foundation and creating systems that support your growth and success long term. This means investing in your health, relationships, and personal development while also prioritizing your financial goals. To achieve sustainable success, you must commit to the long-term journey. You must be prepared to make sacrifices today for the rewards you'll reap tomorrow. This means making smart decisions, staying disciplined, and consistently improving every area of your life. Success isn't just about the destination, it's about creating a life that allows you to thrive in every aspect, year after year. Conclusion. Step into your power. You have the power to change your life. You have the power to stop wasting time, take control of your actions, and start winning. It all starts with taking responsibility for your time, eliminating distractions, focusing on what matters most, and creating the habits that lead to success. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for motivation. Take action today. Commit to the process. Embrace discomfort and stay consistent. The road to success is built by the decisions you make right now. Success is not just for the lucky few. It's for those who are willing to take control of their time, their actions, and their mindset. It's for those who are willing to invest in themselves, to grow, and to evolve. Your success is waiting for you. It's time to step into your power and claim what's yours. Now is your time. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Make it happen. Mastering self-discipline for lasting success. Success isn't just about desire, it's about self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's the practice of committing to your goals regardless of how you feel in the moment. It's about making the hard choice now so you can experience the reward later. Discipline is often the hardest part of success. It requires you to stay focused, to keep going when you'd rather quit, and to put in the work even when you're not seeing immediate results. But it's also the most important ingredient. The most successful people are not always the most talented. They're the ones who have developed the ability to stick to their commitments day in and day out. Self-discipline doesn't mean denying yourself enjoyment or pleasure. It means choosing long-term benefits over short-term gratification. It's saying no to distractions, saying no to instant pleasure, and saying yes to hard work, dedication, and focus. When you train yourself to be disciplined, you unlock the path to true success. The power of consistent learning and self-improvement. In a world that is constantly changing, one of the most important habits you can cultivate is the habit of continuous learning. Every successful person understands that the more you learn, the more you grow, and the more you grow, the more opportunities you create for success. Learning is the cornerstone of innovation and success. It doesn't just stop with formal education. It's a lifelong commitment. Whether you're reading books, listening to podcasts, attending seminars, or learning from your experiences, every moment is an opportunity to improve yourself. The key to success is to never stop learning. The most successful people are the ones who understand that they don't have all the answers. And they're constantly seeking knowledge to stay ahead. When you make learning a priority, you give yourself the tools you need to stay competitive, adapt to change, and create new opportunities for growth. Overcoming procrastination. Start now. One of the biggest enemies of success is procrastination. We all do it. We put off the things we need to do, telling ourselves we'll do them later, when the timing is right, when we feel more motivated. But the truth is, there is never a perfect time. If you keep waiting for the perfect conditions to take action, you'll find yourself waiting forever. The key to overcoming procrastination is simple. Start now. It doesn't matter if you don't feel fully prepared or if the conditions aren't ideal. The most important thing is to take that first step. Once you start, momentum will build, and the task will feel less overwhelming. Every moment you spend procrastinating is time you'll never get back. Stop waiting. Take action now. Even if it's a small step, take it. That first step is often the hardest, but once you've taken it, the rest will fall into place. Investing in your health and energy. Your body is your most valuable asset. Without your health, none of your ambitions or goals matter. Investing in your physical health is not only necessary for your well-being, but it's also a key element of achieving success. When you take care of your body, you have the energy, the mental clarity, and the physical stamina to tackle whatever comes your way. Successful people understand that their health is the foundation for everything else in life. They prioritize exercise, sleep, and a healthy diet, knowing that when their body is in top condition, they have the strength and focus to go after their dreams. Start by incorporating simple habits into your day. Move your body, whether it's through a morning workout, a walk during lunch, or stretching before bed. Eat nutritious foods that fuel your body, and get the sleep you need to recharge your mind. These small, consistent actions build up to significant improvements in your energy and productivity. Building confidence through action. Confidence is built through action, not by wishing for it or hoping it will come. When you take action, even in the face of fear or doubt, you build your confidence. Every time you follow through on your commitments, you reinforce the belief in yourself that you are capable of success. The more you act, the more you prove to yourself that you can do hard things. Confidence grows through competence, and competence comes from the experience of taking action, making mistakes, learning, and improving. So, if you want to build your confidence, start by taking action. The more you take action, the more confident you will become, and the more you'll realize that you can achieve anything you set your mind to. Confidence doesn't come from waiting for the perfect moment or feeling like you're ready. It comes from acting, learning, and growing through the process. Embracing the power of adaptability. The world is constantly changing. Success is not about being static, it's about being adaptable. The most successful people in the world are the ones who can pivot, shift, and adjust when faced with new information, obstacles, or opportunities. Adaptability means not getting attached to a single plan, but instead being willing to adjust and evolve as you learn more, as circumstances change, and as you encounter new challenges. It's about being flexible in your approach, but unwavering in your commitment to your goals. Adaptability is the ability to turn challenges into opportunities. It's the skill that allows you to stay calm under pressure and to navigate through uncertainty with confidence. The most successful people know that life won't always go according to plan, and they're prepared to adapt and move forward no matter what. Living with integrity and honor. Success built on integrity is far more valuable than success that's won through shortcuts or deceit. Integrity is about being true to yourself, staying honest in all your dealings, and making decisions that align with your values. When you live with integrity, you build trust with others, and you create a foundation of respect and honor that serves you well in the long run. Living with integrity also means making ethical decisions, even when it's difficult. It's about doing the right thing, not just the easy thing. When you operate with integrity, you attract people who share your values, and you build a life that is rooted in authenticity. Integrity is what ensures that your success is sustainable. It's the key to creating long-term relationships, fostering trust, and building a reputation that will serve you throughout your life and career. Conclusion: the power of discipline and action. You now understand that success is not about luck. It's about consistent effort, taking responsibility, building discipline, and having the mindset to push through adversity. Every decision you make, every action you take, shapes the reality you're building for your future. It's time to stop waiting for the perfect moment. The only moment that matters is now. Stop wasting time. Stop hesitating, and take action today. The success you desire is available to you, not tomorrow, not someday, but right now, if you choose to embrace the power of discipline, focus, and unwavering commitment. Your dreams are not impossible. They are within your reach. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the decisions you make today. So, take control of your time, your actions, and your future. Every small step, every focused action brings you closer to the success you were meant to achieve. Start now. Don't wait. Your success is not an option. It's inevitable. The path is clear, and the time to act is now. Go make your future happen.